Hey, we back. I'm here on Discord once again, and we're going to be talking about trading. Now, trading is generally pretty server-specific and pretty person-specific even. So this is going to be a very general discussion of the aspect. Obviously, it entirely depends on who you're trading for, who you're trading with, um, and the server, the settings of the server, all manner of things. Um, but there are some things that you do need to be aware of when trading. Hopefully, this will make it a bit easier for you or make it a bit more profitable. Um, so let's get into it. So first of all, what you need to think about is um, what you want to get. How do you know what you want from someone else? So let's use this for an example, because why not? Let's say I want to be trading with one of these guys, say Lion here, for instance. I can grab his ID, I can do his MMR, I'm going to plug it into here, so I can do a sneaky like, there we go. And you notice I put an A on the end there. You probably know what that does, but just in case you don't, a lot of people seem to not. It, as you can see, classes them depending on what anime they're from. So now you don't have to know the names of characters, right? If you don't know the names of characters, this can help you figure out what you want. So I could go through here and I could say, oh, Micah. Maybe I don't know this name, but I know that I've watched Ben 10 and I want Micah, say. I haven't, but just an example, right? And then we can go through here and I can look at the anime names and look at the characters that correspond to them. And you can probably figure out who's who. You don't need the pictures, I wouldn't expect from this. You know what you've watched, you know? So you can probably figure it out. And of course, you can always do an I'm after that. And then once you've got them, I always store characters that I want from people in notes. So if you go on here, you can see I've got a bunch of notes here of stuff that I want from this guy. So like Prisoner, I do know a lot of people by name, so like that's one for One Punch Man ones. I've seen One Punch Man, so at some point I've gone through his list and I found that and I've added it there. So that can be quite useful. You need to know what you want, because you need to be flexible when trading, right? It might be that the other person doesn't like your initial offer, they come up with a counter offer perhaps, and maybe you don't like their counter offer, you want to counter that. You don't want to be looking through all of their harem every time you want to be coming up with a counter offer. If you've got a list of all of the things that you want from that person, then it's pretty helpful in doing trades a lot faster. And faster trades means that the trade is more likely to happen. The other person doesn't go or get bored or whatever, right? So there is that. The other thing is to make sure that the other person knows what they want. Now you can manipulate this somehow because a lot of people don't check MMRA like this, right? They just assume they know what you want. So, like I say, you can manipulate this. If you don't give them any information or you try and hide the information somehow, then they'll have to go off what they know, the characters that they've seen, which can sometimes be good if you want to have them perhaps forget about a character that you've got. Maybe there's a character that you know they want and you know that they would ask for, but you don't want to give it. Then you want them to forget about that. So what you can do is try to avoid giving your MMR and just suggest characters. For example, if you know what they want, I can search my MMR myself and I can go and just like, oh, I don't really mind about, I don't know, Murdoch. I don't really know who all these characters are, to be honest, but let's say I don't care about Murdoch. I don't mind giving him, you can have him. Instead of going through the whole harem or having them do it or having them have a note, because they probably don't, just say, oh yeah, what about Murdoch? Do you like them? Obviously, for that, you need to have some idea of what the other people in your server want, right? So try and keep that in your head as well. But if you do, then for sure, you can ask them if they'd like a certain thing. You can also check a series. So let's say there's someone on this server that really likes, I don't know, Dragon Ball. I can check and I've not seen Dragon Ball, so I can check Dragon Ball and say, hey, is there any of these that you want? And then I'm only showing them a series that I have not seen and that might interest them. So if they suggest someone from here, then I don't mind trading because I've not seen Dragon Ball. Another thing to generalize this is using notes. So something that I don't do much on here anyway, but on here, for example, I do, is use notes. What I can do on here, so I've got my MMR, and you can see a bunch of this stuff is noted. I've in fact noted who wants each thing. So for example, Chica, she is from Love is War. So I do I'm a row on Love is War, see who has claimed stuff from that series. So here we go, I can check. Here we go. Got me, and there's Mike, and Ninja, and there we go. And that's it. So all of my Love is War stuff is going to be noted with this. And then what I can do is I can say, okay, if I want to trade with a certain person, say I'm trying to trade with Ninja, I can just do FN Ninja, and I'm not going to run that in case they start getting suspicious of something going on, but that'll just crop up with everything that contains this. All of these results, right? And then hopefully there's something among those that Ninja might want to trade. Another way of doing it is I can use M+, like that. Now this is only showing the noted ones, right? So now I can say, hey, is there anything that I own that you want? If maybe I'm not sure what they want. And I can bring up this list, and it's kind of like a bit of information hiding, you know? They only get to look at this list. You know, they're not going to run the command themselves, they're just going to look through this list. So then these other things, like, I don't know, like Amelia, let's say they really want Amelia, but they forget that I've got Amelia because she's not in the list that I've given them. Right? So a bit of information hiding can help you out as well. And then using notes is really helpful. You've got N+, you've got FN, other searching commands. It's pretty useful to do something like that. And of course, you see these dots, these are just like general trades that I've put on. You can just do that as well if you don't want to be bothered noting for specific people. Just noting for a certain character to trade. So for example, if I go on here, I go on the day, I've got my MMR and plus here, you can see everything's just got a dot. So now I can say on here, hey, what would you like from me? And I can give them this list. And I know that they're not going to ask for something that I want to keep because the stuff that I want to keep isn't on the list. Right. So that's a pretty helpful thing to do. Using notes is really helpful because you can search them. So yeah, manipulating what other people think they want from you is good. If you want to suggest a particular thing, do that. If you want to give them a selection to choose from, you know, that works. And then you do with the counter offers, right? The other thing to do is what we've mentioned before, I believe in the Capua video, simply to make sure that you're doing fair trades, right? You know, don't trade like, you know, Saber for Moonchan. Maybe I want Moonchan more than Saber. To be honest, I do, because Moonchan's not bad, and I don't know Saber. I've not seen Fate, but I'm not going to do this trade because Saber's in 9th and Moonchan's in like 5,000th, right? If that. So you've got to make sure that your trades are fair. They don't have to be exact. But, you know, within 100 Kakura, maybe even 50 Kakura if it's early days, and you want to be stonks on the Kakura, make sure that all the trades you do is like worth 100. And let's say I want to get Moonchan and I'm willing to give up Saber. What I do is instead I say to Draco here, I say, okay, give me Moonchan and something else for Saber. So maybe Draco's got, like, I don't know, Yumiko on here. Yumiko Jarani, let's just say, I don't actually know, I'm not checking. But then I can say, okay, give me Moonchan and Yumiko for Saber. And especially if I know that they don't care about Yumiko, then that's quite a good trade, because now it doesn't affect them too much. They really wanted Saber, they don't really care about Moonchan, and then if I know that they don't care about Yumiko either, I can say that. And then the trade is still fair, because I get the same Kakura value, but they're happy with the trade because they don't care about the characters. Again, this requires knowledge. You have to know what other people want. Checking what they're claiming frequently is useful, and checking what they're trading for. Speaking of what people are claiming and trading for, checking wishes and claiming wishes is very important for trades, because you can claim a wish and you get a pretty much guaranteed trade. The other person will come to you probably asking for the wish, which puts you in a bit of a power position because you know that they want that thing. Whereas if you go asking them for a trade, then you don't know what they might want. They can ask for whatever they like, right? But if you know that they want their wish, then you can ask for whatever you like in return for it. Like let's say Moonchan was my wish, just let's say, and Draco, I came to Draco and I said, look, Moonchan's my wish, can I have Moonchan please? And then Draco said, yeah, give me Saber. Now obviously I'm smart, I'm going to turn that down, but Draco doesn't know that. Draco could just work my way down the list, right? Give me Saber. No? Okay, give me Violet. No? Okay, give me A. Just work my way down until they say yes. Then you know that you're getting the best deal because you've asked for everything that you want that's better than that. You don't have to do it ordered in rank, right? Because these don't really mean anything anyway. You just ask for whatever you want the most, which is again when the notes come in handy. Because I can go on here and I can say, okay, let me look at this list of characters that I know that I want from this person. Which one do I want the most? So for example, from this list, I probably want Megamind the most. So every wish that I claim from Ryan, he's going to come to me and say, hey, can I have my wish? And I'm going to turn around and say, hey, give me Megamind. And he's probably going to say no. But one day he might say yes, and if he says yes, I get the best thing. Right? If he says no, I can move on. I can say, okay, give me Hagrid. Okay, what do I like? Give me the Wither. Or whatever order I decide to do it in. And I can just go down the list in order of what I want and ask for all of them. And then when he eventually says yes, I know I've got the best deal possible. Right. And again, you want to make sure that it's equal in Kakura as well. So if I'm trading for something worth 200 Kakura, and if there's no to Megamind, then I go to Hagrid. Hagrid's not worth that much. So instead of going to Hagrid, go to like Hagrid and Monster Kid, maybe. Maybe that's about 200. I'm not sure. Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm saying going down the list in order that I want. You probably want them in a different order. You might not even want any of these. But you can do the same if you set up your own notes and decide what order you want them. This is also why it's really useful to know what you want. So, for example, with my soul list, I order my soul list of who I want. So if I'm ever not quite sure, if I can't be bothered to decide exactly who would be for the best trade, I can check my soul list and go, look, well, I put them above them when I actually was bothered to think about it. So now I don't have to think about it, I can just ask for the trade straight away, right? Assuming your mind doesn't change, right? That speeds up the trade. Now you don't have to think about what you like the most, what you want the most, you can just check. Of course, this is kind of difficult to set up, but that's another matter. Anyway, that should get you the best possible trades for all of the characters that you have. You can play a bit of mind games with them, make sure that you know what you want, what other people want, and try and hoard a bit of information if you think that'll help. Put yourself in power positions and try and get the best possible deal that you can. That's about it, really. So we'll leave this one here. Bye!